Hello, everyone. Just wanted to talk about something that's very important in our society today. Especially, I hope everyone's doing well with the COVID-19, and I think this is a topic that'll resonate on a personal level with everyone that's kind of stuck at home and feeling the effects of uh, just not being able to go anywhere. Depression is a real thing, with a lot of people. So just kind of lay the landscape as far as what I'm going to talk about today and what my problem is today. According to the National Institute of Mental Health, there are 17.3 million people with depression today. um, 13.1% of this number is made up of young adults. That's our age, 18 to 25. So just to give you in perspective a number to grasp, that's 2,249,000 people that are our age with depression. Um, and just to give you a better grasp of it, there's 27,626 students in HGC. So if you took HGC's population, multiplied it by 81, then you would get a number similar to the amount of people in America, young Americans that have depression. Um, so it's an overwhelming amount. And the whole problem with that is that there's not enough areas and enough resources for all those people to find treatment. And these are just young adults. Obviously the spectrum goes on and on. So we're talking about way more people than I'm actually bringing to light. But my problem is the limited amount of resources that people with depression have for finding treatment. And if you really look at it, so many people in America have depression, and I think it's because of the lack of resources that we have in America that leads to this overwhelming amount that keeps growing over the years. Um, you know, Actually, I just said 17.3 million people today have depression, young adults. In 2016, the National Institute of Mental Health estimated that there were 16.2 million. So in just 4 years, the number's gone up a drastic amount. So by a million people, and I think it's mainly the reason why is just because the limited amount of resources that people are being able to find to find the treatment and be able to better themselves and get back on track as far as like being able to go to work and do the things that they would normally do. And the thing is, for a very long time, mental health has kind of been this like taboo that's nobody's talked about, and nobody wants to talk about going to a therapist, going to a psychiatrist, and all this stuff. But lately, thank God, light has been shed on it, and it's an actual serious topic that a lot of people are talking about, and it's an actual field that is in the mental health or the health area. And it's something that, yeah, everyone does is sharing awareness, like, yeah, if you have mental health, go find some help. But I think one of the biggest problems with that is that everyone's aware, but even if you do have the mental illness, I believe a lot of people that are having mental illnesses are not doing the steps that they need to take initially right away. And I find that there's a lot of people that with mental health and depression, there's like this gap period where they're trying to figure out, should I see a psychologist, should I see a psychiatrist, should I have therapy sessions, do I need therapy sessions, do I need to go to a psychiatrist and start taking meds, is it a hormonal balance, is it something in my personal life that I need to talk about, is it something that happened to me in a years prior that it's affecting me today. And it's like this juggling of back and forth of what should I do. And that can be very overwhelming for someone that's already on the brink of suicide even. And that's a lot of burden to carry for someone that can't even get out of bed, can't even do simple tasks just because they're so down on themselves and they're so depressed. So I feel like if there was someone there to help them, nudge them along, and kind of help them towards their recovery and point them in the right places, then we'd start to see a lot of people start to, actually find treatment and really start to find their life back and, get their life back on track. Just to kind of personalize this story, I actually had a friend that did suffer through depression, and some of the things that he would always tell me was just the back and forth talking with psychiatrists, and the back and forth juggling of what meds he should take and how the meds had affected him, and having to find the right dosages of those medicines to be able to figure out, okay, this makes me feel this way, this makes me feel that way, I can't take those because that's just making me feel even worse. And then the therapy sessions, he didn't find that till later on in his depression, which, to be honest, is probably something that he might have been able to help him in the beginning, and maybe he really didn't need to take medication, because he was one of those people where the medication kind of made the symptoms a little worse and started giving him other side effects that he wasn't even having initially. And it was like this grace period of trying to figure out what to do and where to go and who to talk to and stuff like that. And I think so many people don't realize that it really is all about communication. Talk to your doctors, get another doctor's opinion. There's no one way to cure depression. It's just something that you have to figure out within yourself, because it's such a case-by-case situation. And it's very hard. It's very hard to come out of. It's a hole that many people cannot come out of and don't survive coming out of it. I know for my friend, unfortunately, he didn't survive. He ended up taking his life because the depression was so bad. But it's one of those things where maybe if he did do, some of those things that he did on the back end or on the front end of his depression that started to help him a little bit, if he did that initially, maybe he would have been fine. Maybe he would have came out of it normal. And it's just one of those things where it's kind of gets you to question, like, is our treatment plan really, working if I know someone that did have it and wasn't able to come out of it, So it's one of those things where it's like you have to question the treatment plans that we have in place. And, I feel like that's a very big problem. The fact that finding the treatment shouldn't be the hardest part about your depression. The depression should be the hardest part, not finding who to talk to and who knows best for you, what doctor knows best for you, and what things you should be doing. That should not be or ever be the hardest part in any treatment for any illness, especially for someone that's so, handicapped in this place. But before concluding, I would just like to ask, all the people that watch this, if anyone ever needs anything, please feel free to talk to, or if you ever see, someone that looks a little down, or you see just a random stranger, a smile speaks volumes, or opening a door, just little things throughout the day can really turn someone's day around, because you never know what's going on in their personal life, and you really never know what problems people have. So, the best advice I could give, for myself or for anyone is just kind of, be there, be, present for the people around you, be present for your family members, your loved ones, because it really is something important that, we really need to pay attention to really truly care about the people around us and be really good people. We have to go that extra mile and, make sure everyone around us is okay, because, depression is a real thing. Also for, the people that are thinking that they are experiencing some of the effects that I'm talking about, if they are thinking that they're feeling a little depressed or anything like that, and especially for the people out there that do think that they have suicidal urges, I'd just like to conclude this whole problem statement by saying, if you do have suicidal urges, I just want to let you know that all it does is it takes your pain and it puts it on your loved ones. So it takes your pain and it puts it on your family members and the people closest to you. And I urge you and I beg you to not go that route, and please look for me if you ever need help. Thank you.